Hello, and welcome to another Bloom Room. I'm so excited. You'll notice it's just me, Amy E. Reichert, but I'm here with fabulous Tif Marcelo, fellow Tall Poppy. Yay!
Yay!
So excited because Tif has a book that just came out. It Takes Heart, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. So I'm very, very excited to have you here. We may go off on all sorts of tangents tonight, so it might be a slightly different show. But Tif, I know you posted in Bloom just now. I don't know if you want to reiterate it, what you're hoping to do.
Yes, so I am host. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. For everyone that's out there, as you know, that I am hosting Bloom this week, and I have been giving away one thing every night. And tonight, I will give away a paperback copy of It Takes Heart if you're a U.S. resident, or a Kindle copy of It Takes Heart. If you comment down below or wherever where we can find it, I'm assuming it's down below, right? Down below the video.
Yeah, down below in the comments.
Down below in the comments, ask a question or just make a comment and you'll automatically be entered. Yeah. And I'll pick the winner on Saturday, as with all the winners.
Yay!
Yay!
So make sure to comment and say stuff. We've already got Trisha chiming in.
Yay!
Good evening,
hello,
y'all.
Trisha.
Yay! And another one. Hello from Coastal Magic.
Hello! I get to go to Coastal Magic in February, so I'm so excited.
Where is Coastal Magic?
In Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah, Daytona Beach. Yeah, I think I'm taking the whole family, and it's right there on the water, so it'll be a nice vacation.
You can take your friend with you.
I'll be like, I'll just go up and pick you up along the way. Just swing on by.
Sure. You know what? It'll be simpler. I will come down by you and we'll together. This seems silly for you to come all the way down.
My husband will be like, who's this extra person over here?
Who is this strange person in our backseat? One of our children. So Trisha is already asking a question. Is that your writing cave, Tif?
It is my writing cave. It is the front room. So as soon as you walk into this house, it's on the left-hand side. So I've got 2 windows in front of me. So, my neighbors get to see me in my pajamas and in my blanket. Because if you guys know me, I write with my blanket over my head.
I will demonstrate.
My blanket's over there. I don't want to reach for it, but that's what I look like. In fact, this morning, I was hearing dogs barking and somebody yelping. It could just have been somebody running after their dog. You never know. Right. And then I lifted up my blinds and then I saw my reflection. I look like this abominable snowman. I'm like, let me close it down. They're like,
is it not? Do you keep your house chilly, or you're just one of those always cold people?
Well, both.
Oh. I'm at that point in my life where it is never chilly enough. I am always too warm. That's just where I am.
Yes, women of a certain age. I am there too. It's the pre, but it's there.
It sucks. It sucks.
True.
I've been lamenting with some other people about how women just don't talk enough about perimenopause.
Yeah, it is. It's been rough. I have my skin's peeling. Just weird stuff happening now.
It is. It's so weird. Okay, I should probably do Poppy News. Yes. I told you it was going to be different.
I know. This is what we do, me and Amy. Okay,
Poppy News. No, it's fine. I don't really have a lot, but I did want to mention one thing. There are several poppies who have donated to something called Romance for Haiti, which is a fundraiser going on later I think it's the 28th. I know I've donated all 5 of my books, signed copies and magnets, and Tif it sounds like you've done something. I'm pretty sure Christy has, Priscilla Oliveras has, and besides us, our fabulous items that you'll be able to bid on. There's a ton more from like Christina Lauren and Sarah McLean, everything from books to manuscript edits to consultations. I think that Kristen Dwyer, who is your publicist,
yes,
and has worked with both of us in the past, she's even donated like a 30-minute public relations phone call. So
it's fantastic.
phone call. So there's amazing things that you can bid on. I'm going to post a link to it in the comments afterwards, because apparently I can't post things from StreamYard at the same time. And I'm not that talented. So one of the things, because romance is so big for Tif and I, and we always talk about book recommendations in the Bloom Room, I thought it would be fun. And it was Bookstore Romance Day a couple days ago. I thought it would be fun if Tif and I recommended a few of our favorite, either recent romances or maybe some books that we haven't gotten around to, but we're excited to read. So maybe we can go like, you do one, I do one, you do one, I'll do one kind of situation.
Yes.
All right, Tif, what do you have?
Okay, first I'm going to show, here it is.
There we go.
It's called Summer in the City, and it's published by Kensington, and it is in paperback. It's also in Barnes and Noble. I actually saw it in my local Barnes and Noble, but it's 3 novellas about what happens when the lights go out in the city.
Love it.
So Priscilla Oliveris has a story in it as well, and she's a tall poppy, and hers is called Lights Out, and it is about a Broadway critic that goes to a Broadway show and is intending on critiquing this show, and the lead actor is an old flame. So it gets very contentious, and then the lights go out. So it's kind of a neat thing about them getting to touch base once more. But there's 3 stories in this, and it goes by very, very quickly. It's lovely to read, like when you're in carpool, and you get to do half the novella like in one sitting. So
awesome.
It's neat.
Yeah. I love it. And I like things like that where you can read a nice chunk like that in one sitting. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the first book I'm going to talk about is one that I've had on my TBR for a bazillion years. I am intrigued by this author so much that I've actually bought more of her books. And that is The Matchmaker List by
yeah. I haven't read that, but it's on my list. Oh my God. On my long list.
I know. It sounds amazing because it's about a young woman who's finally caved and said, fine, you can work with a matchmaker and give me some suggestions for future husbands. And of course, grandma goes overboard and is very pushy on this subject matter. So she has to deal with her grandma, very enthusiastic grandma, and then go through all of the different eligible bachelors. So it sounds super fun and right up my alley. And I just love the cover. And it looks like it was a Target. I must have bought it at Target.
Yeah.
Must have. I mean, it's a few years old, but it's just been, this is just up my alley. So good. All right, next book.
Next book. Of course. I'm sure you've read this.
I haven't. I need to.
DIE. It is so good. So this is Christina Lauren's The Soulmate Equation.
Yeah.
And it's like a, how do I explain this? It's like it's a DNA matchmaking deal. And so this woman who doesn't really believe in love is matched with the owner of the company that does this this match, and so the hero is just so soft-hearted, and so you just end up falling in love with him. And Jess is a heroine she's a single mom, and then you fall in love with her entire family. So I would have to say, okay, so I've read all of Christina Lauren's books.
That's impressive.
Yeah. This has to be up there with Love in Other Words. So if you guys have read Love in Other Words is more women's fiction or contemporary fiction. And this kind of really this is true romance, right? Oh. But it has that extra element that I just fell in love with that entire family and that entire family unit that, yeah.
Christina Lauren, they might be.
They're my favorite.
Yeah. I have yet to read anything that I'm even lukewarm on. They do
I
steamy,
love all that.
steamy hot. They do super sweet and swoony.
Yeah.
They have such a range, and they're always, I mean, maybe it's the magic of having two authors that just work beautifully together.
Mhm.
They're just magic.
And their books don't sound the same book to book to book.
No, always have something that makes them really sparkle.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Because there are romance authors that do that.
Yeah.
So the next book I'm going to talk about is one I read, and I just loved. It's so right up my alley. It's Well Met.
Oh,
I love this book.
the Ren Fair, right?
Yes, Ren Fair. It happens. Yeah. So this is a perfect book to read going into the fall because it's a Renaissance fair. So to me, that feels very fall vibey. So a woman volunteers for the local Renaissance fair because her niece, pretty sure it's her niece, wants to do it, and there needs to be an adult. So she kind of gets roped in. And of course, there's a very handsome, swaggering, kind of arrogant, little bit of piratey character, and shenanigans happen. It is so fun. There's such a crazy cast of characters, and she has written 2 more, and I think there's a 4th one coming out this fall. And we also have the same editor.
Oh, that's nice.
I just think that they are so fun, and what a fun setting is the Renaissance Fair. My daughter's going to her first Renaissance Fair this Friday, so we were out shopping today to try and put together.
Is it hot over there though? Because it is steamy over here.
It is.
I feel like I've gone to a couple of Renaissance fairs, and it always falls on like the hottest day of the year. So even if I'm not dressed up, I'm looking at everybody going, "Oh my gosh! Like, how can you be in costume?"
But I feel like the sweaty and the stinky really kind of works. The whole theme of a medieval village. Yeah, it's just me. It needs to smell a little funky to be authentic. So that was a lot of fun. There was like this white flowy dress we found at kind of like a prairie-esque dress with like the balloon sleeves at Target for a reasonable price. And then we went to Goodwill or not Goodwill, St. Vincent's, which is a thing around. I don't know if they're
everywhere. Yeah, we have that here in Kentucky too. Yeah.
And there was like this perfect sort of muted pinkish maroonish colored dress to go over the white one.
Oh,
it's like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So she looks great, and we didn't really have to do anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, next book.
Okay. I have you're not going to really see it because this is
it's an art. Ooh, there we go.
It's Love, Comment, and Subscribe, and it's by Kathy Yardley. It's a rom-com. It's with Montlake Romance, and it's coming out, I think, December. So this is so much fun, and it's reading so quickly. This is about 2 YouTube stars.
Oh.
So Lils, she's such a cute name.
YouTube star name.
I know. So Lils has like 5 million followers, right? And she really wants to grow her business. Like this is her thing. She loves it. She wants to grow it, but she has to partner up with another YouTuber that is much bigger than her. And her old high school nemesis has like a 15 million followership. And so they come together and they just don't like each other, because Lily is very serious and the hero is he's just so blasé, but then everything he does so well. So it drives her crazy. So I love this because it's very like now, it's YouTube. It's the banter is very like hip, it's just very now. So I love it. It's really good. So it's coming out, I believe, in December. So I'm excited for y'all to read it.
I love it. I just finished, I don't have it right next to me, but I'm going to just do a quick little blurb because I mentioned it for people who watched last week. I talked about it. It was called Sadie on a Plate. And it's a book that's coming out in March. And it is, what was the book you were just talking about?
It's Love, Comment, Subscribe.
Love. Ooh, that's a great title. So Sadie on a Plate is a chef gets fired from her job, thinks her career is over, but then there is a competition that she applied for ages ago, and they call her back, and she gets flown out to New York. And when she's on the plane, she's sitting next to this guy. They're really hitting it off, and They even go out to dinner, and she's like, oh, this is so fun. I'd love to do it again, but I can't because I can't tell you what it is, but I will be off the grid for 6 weeks. And he's like, all right, reach out then. Then she starts this cooking competition, which sounds like Chopped or one of those Top Chef kind of competitions. And sure enough, the first day, the judges come in, and he's one of the judges. But what I loved about this is I get sent a lot of foodie books.
Yeah, because you have a foodie. You're like the queen of foodie. Like, coincidence of coconut cake. Come on now.
Fair enough. And I love foodie books, but there is a bit of repetition, and I feel like some people are better at describing food than other people. Let me tell you, Amanda Elliott, the author of Sadie on a Plate, the food in this book, the way she describes it, everything about it seems pitch perfect. I'm so excited about it. And I could not stop reading it. It was amazing.
Oh, that sounds
I didn't mean to talk about that book, but
yeah.
And I can't even show you the arc because it's got my notes all over.
That's awesome. So do you typically write?
So when I get one of those bound copies that I just have the plain front, I do. I just use it to write my notes so that when I blurb, I have thoughts that I can start working off of.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's kind of fun. I don't know. And normally if it's like a regular nice arc with a real cover, then I just get a piece of paper.
Oh,
but yeah, that's kind of what
good. I mark up books too, so I'm glad to meet another. Well, I mean, I don't mark it up totally, but you know what I mean. Like I put my notes in it, but because if it's mine, then sorry, you guys.
I know what you mean. I don't know if you had. I don't know how many books you have to talk about because I could do this literally for the rest.
I know. Do you want to? I have one that's not romance, but his romantic thread. Yeah, and it's so good.
Ooh.
Oh, this way. Okay, it's Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. So this is coming out in September. Oh. And it is about a 33-year-old woman who finds out she has like an amazing life. She has everything she needs and wants, but she finds out she has ovarian insufficiency and can't have kids. And so it kind of it's the thing that sets her off in this path of what do I really want in my life and who do I want in my life. So it's such a good book. This is a debut. And it is contemporary fiction. It has a romantic thread, but it has a lot of, discussion on what is love and what you want. And it's really great. It's a great book.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So the last thing I'm going to talk about is really an author. I don't have her upcoming book, but I am so utterly smitten with Evie Dunmore.
Oh, yeah.
If you like historical fiction at all, I highly recommend immediately Bringing Down the Duke, and then getting A Rogue of One's Own, and then her new one is called A Portrait of a Scotsman. They are smart. They're super feminist. They're not, they really challenge a lot of what you would expect, I think, in what people used to think were in historical romances. Yeah. Because I think there's lots of historical romances that challenge it, but and she's in a slightly different time period. She's more in Victorian. They're just fantastic. And I like to fangirl all over her, and it gets a little embarrassing sometimes.
That's okay. I'm a total fangirl. It's very, very bad. Like I have no chill factor whatsoever.
I want to have her on the show, but she lives in Germany, so that would be a really
that would be rough.
But I have had her on Bloom. I think I interviewed her in the middle of the afternoon in Bloom one time, and I just had no chill. But speaking of romances, I think it's important that we talk about the most important romance. It is when was the official Poppy launch day?
August 10.
So It Takes Heart. This is just such a charming cover, and I want to be there. Can you tell us a bit about it, please?
Yes. So It Takes Heart is the first book in the Heart Resort series. The concept of Heart Resort is that it is a heart-shaped peninsula that has been occupied by the Puso family. The Puso means heart in Tagalog. And they are 4 siblings, 3 boys and a girl. And they have turned this peninsula into a couples resort, an exclusive couples resort. And in this first book, we have Brandon, the youngest, youngest Puceau, who had a relationship with Geneva, his older sister's best friend.
Okay.
And what they do, the reason why they're at Heart Resort to begin with is because they are there to fix up the resort after a hurricane. But no one in the family what no one in the family knows is that they had an illicit affair 4 years ago. So now they see each other. They didn't know they were going to be there. And now they have to kind of work together to be able to do their jobs and try not to fall in love. But, it's a romance. So we know what happens there. There is that happily ever after. So
romance is about the journey, not the
destination. That's right. That's right. And so I love the cover. Thanks so much. Like the cover, I feel like is like a movie poster. So Know You by Heart, the next book that's coming out in April. Like if you put both covers together, I'm like, wow. It feels like a movie poster, and it's very decidedly romantic. There are serious moments in this book. So just as, I don't want to say a warning, because contemporary fiction authors or contemporary fiction readers are used to reading in surprise, right? Yes. Surprising things in a book and are good with that. But for my romance readers, just to let you know that there are serious topics that are going to be broached in the entire series. So it is not fun, not towards funny
rom-com.
It's contemporary romance with some serious moments there. Yeah,
totally. I mean, contemporary romance readers know that.
Yeah, it's a gamut. But I always like to preface, because sometimes, like I as a reader like to come in and kind of know my scale, like the heat scale too. So there's heat in this book. Just letting you all know, especially if you're coming from reading The Key to Happily Ever After, Once Upon a Sunset in a Book Called Far Away, which is like a 0 out of 10. This is more like 4, 3, not like. But there is sex on the page. So
nice. That's good to know. Those are important things.
They're important things to know.
And I agree. Like there used to be sort of a code, and I think there still is a little bit, where if you're seeing a torso on the cover, it's usually going to be much steamier than, say, a cupcake.
Yeah.
But I feel like this trend of illustrated covers has taken that code out, because I've read illustrated covers that are very tame, and I have read illustrated covers where it is spicy.
Hot. Yeah.
I'm here for all of it, but you gotta let a reader know.
Yeah, and I as a reader like to know also. Just that's my personal preference. But yeah, I love illustrated covers. I think they're gorgeous, and these illustrators are so talented. But I also like to know ahead of time, and usually I find out before I go in, just so I'm ready. So I'm not blasting my Libra FM or my Audible like mega loud in the car with my kids.
See, I don't listen to romance.
Oh, okay.
I like to listen to celebrity memoir because then if Faye is talking to me.
So my last celebrity memoir was Jessica Simpson's.
Ooh, how was that?
It was so good.
Really? I
was telling somebody this, but I feel oddly protective over Jessica Simpson. I just want her to be okay. And then as if I know her. But I think it's because I grew up watching, and I think they were one of the first reality shows.
I think you're right. And they just everything was there, and she was obliterated.
She was so young as well. And that was when we didn't realize what reality TV was and what it opened people up to.
Yes.
But
oh yeah.
So
then the Kardashians came along.
Yeah.
My daughter's been watching the Kardashians.
I love the Kardashians.
And I've gotten sucked in. I have to admit, I could not sit and watch like all 20 some episodes, 20 seasons worth.
Yeah.
But oh, look, it's such a great book. I loved it. Couldn't put it down. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
But like they're just crazy.
It's addictive. I don't know. I get very into it. So
she's just gotten to the episodes where Caitlin has just transitioned. So those are really some interesting episodes.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because if I think back,
it was like,
and then the family continues to grow, and suddenly the twins are like having their own babies.
Yes, Kim is still married to Kanye at this point.
Yeah,
because I'll keep saying to my daughter, "Are they still married?
Yeah,
are people still together?" I'm really invested in Scott.
Yes, I follow him on Instagram. You know, like I
feel so bad for him. I feel like he's been just beat up.
I don't know what makes him tick, honestly. And Courtney just can't stop. Well, Courtney's now with that drummer from Blink 182.
Oh, see, I'm caught up with.
And I went on like this is what happens when you're on deadline, right? You're like, let me look up Scott.
I get it. But I just feel bad for him sometimes. Fair enough.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
He needs help. He needed help. I don't know how he is now. You know what I mean? Like
he's got some really rough patches. Yeah. I don't know how he is now that they're separated and all that. Yeah. All right. I should probably ask more questions. So when you were writing this, what kind of research did you get to go and spend some time at an exclusive couples resort?
No, right. But I was in the Outer Banks. I forgot to mention. So this all happens. The book is set in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we have an RV motorhome, and we went to the beach like every year to the Outer Banks. So that's like our favorite place to be. And I remember like a long time ago saying to myself, I really want to set a book here, and then I kind of put it away because everything else happened in the world, right? Yeah. But it was great because during the lockdown, you could still go in your own vehicle, right? So we were able, so even the summer of 2020, we still got to go to the Outer Banks, and there was nobody there. And these people, the people who own the RV places, you know, everybody was just having a hard time, right? Yeah. But RV folks like us, we could still go. So we went, and there was a lot of space in between each motorhome, and we still got to go to the beach, and we used our own we had our own bathrooms in the RV. So as I was drafting this book, I was able to actually spend time in the Outer Banks and put my feet in the sand. There's just something about it to be able to, see it and then write it right away.
That's amazing. So do you have any, like, what are some of your little favorite Outer Banks nuggets that have made it into the book?
Beachcombing is one thing. And just the random, like not the let's go beachcombing, but like looking down. I like that whole moment of just looking down and go, oh, whoa, there's something. let's pick it up. Yeah. And just the sunsets and how the way the Outer Banks is, because it's such a thin, right, piece of land. Like you can do the sunset, and then the morning you can just walk over and do the sunrise in another place. And, you just turn around, basically. Just go to, so that it's that whole idea of being on this peninsula and being on the Sound and looking one way, and you've got the sunset, and then the sunrise is on the other side. So
we did, my family, I'm the youngest of 5 children. So we decided to go there, all of the kids and all of their children.
Have fun.
We brought my mom, and my dad was there. We rented a house, which was crowded.
I bet.
It was kind of amazing, and I was obsessed with the turtles and their turtle nests. Mm-hmm. So there was like 10 of them in the walk, and I would just determined to see one of them hatch, and I didn't. But
oh no, darn!
I know. Someday I'm going to get to see a turtle nest hatch. I I can't believe that we have already gabbed for a half hour.
I told. What can I say?
I even had some backup stuff. I'm like, oh, we could do like lightning round questions and all this other stuff. But no, we could probably sit and gab for another hour, but
I know it.
Might not be as interested in talking about random subjects than as you. So I think I'm going to say we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And Tif, I'm so excited.
I know.
You. I'm so happy for your new
Thank
book.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope everybody, this is your last time to comment if you want to enter the contest. Or maybe, who knows what Tif will do. Usually there's people who straggle in as they want.
Yeah, and it's actually anytime. And what I'll do is I'll pop in to Bloom and then I'll answer your questions, but make sure that you post underneath the video and then I will pop in and answer questions and then you'll automatically be answered. Or you can just make a comment and then I'm good to go with that.
Perfect. Thanks, Barbara. It was a fun discussion.
Yeah.
I always like listening to writers talk to each other about stuff. I always think that's fun.
Yeah.
So for now, goodbye. We'll see everyone later. I'll see everyone next week. Thank you again, Tif.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I got to get to the outro. I was in the wrong. I by myself. I've got too much going on. I don't know what's going on. All right. Here we go. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.